I made 5 custom LEGO Marvel characters from the 2021 and 2022 series. I am going to be choosing one character to make from the Loki, What If, and Hawkeye series, and for 2022 series, Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel. Let's start with Loki. I have chose the classic Loki character to rebuild, as I like the costume and the character himself, and he built the entirety of Asgard from his powers. So I started looking for pieces that had a yellow and green design pattern. It took a lot of time, but I eventually found one piece from the LEGO Nexo Knights called Battle Suit Aaron. The piece does look a bit metallic, but it is the best one I have seen so far. So I then moved on to look for a yellow and green top. Eventually I came across this. This piece is the upper part from Marvel Eternals, Arisham's Shadow. This piece looked okay for the torso, but lacked the yellow. But I quickly changed the hands to yellow for the glove effect. Now for the accessories. I found this cool shoulder piece that belonged to the Kraven the Hunter minifigure. Unfortunately, it wasn't the color I wanted, but it was still okay. So I quickly changed the color. And just before I moved on, I tried looking for any more accessories. But unfortunately, there were no yellow pieces. So I moved on and looked for a cape. It didn't take that long to find, as there are only 3 types of cape. So I placed it on the minifigure, and now it's starting to come together. But now I need to move on to the head. I use this head, which I think is the Lord of the Rings elf piece. But there are many other pieces that you can use. Once that was done, all I needed was the helmet. So I went to the head accessories, and there it was. It may take a bit longer. Okay, there it is. So now I have finally completed the LEGO Loki custom minifigure. Also, let me know how you guys find these minifigures in the comment section. The next series we are going to do is What If. The custom character we are going to make is Thor. I found this character very interesting in the series, as he was a much younger version. To start off, I got the lower piece from the LEGO Ideas section. I don't know what character it's from, but any piece that looks similar would be fine to use. I think this one suits very well for the character. So when looking for the upper piece, I went with the exact same character. It has the black and gold pattern that looks similar. Once that was done, I removed the arms and the hands to look for some others. I got into a bit of a mess trying to do this. So I used 3000 IQ strategy.
Watch that.
Then I changed my mind and quickly went with the Infinity War for arms and hands. Again, I did get into a predicament. Finally it is completed. But before I moved to the head and hair piece, I found this cool shoulder accessory that went well with the character. It also got the right color that I wanted to use. So after that, I moved over to the head piece. I needed to find one that was young, and this piece did exactly the job. It's also got another face print on the back, which is very suitable for the character. But then I went looking for the hair piece. I decided to with the exact same as the original Thor hair. And I think it looked pretty good. Maybe just a better accessory next time. Also, this is how the other face looks. He looks happy. Anyway, moving on to the third series, which is going to be the Hawkeye series. I decided to remake Hawkeye, as LEGO have not made many minifigures of this character. He has been part of Marvel since the very start and is highly underrated. So to begin with, I went with some plain black lower piece. This was just simply for his casual clothing. Now moving on to the top, I found this piece at the very end of the row, but it did not look great. I was trying to go with a black-purple theme color, but it looks more of a suit. So I ended up adjusting the color of the arms and the hands before diving back into finding another piece. After a few minutes, I ended up going with the exact same upper piece as the Thor minifigure custom. Although it didn't have any purple, it looked fine. Now that this is completed, I looked for the accessory. I decided to go with the arrow holder from Ninjago Zing's minifigure, and it was very successful. Now I looked for the head and hair piece again. I ended up choosing this piece, which I thought looked good. Then for the hair piece, I went with this one because it looked cool. I quickly changed the color and it was finished. However, we needed one more thing, which I forgot to include for the last 2 minifigures, the weapons. So I gave him a bow, and that's the third minifigure completed. I did forget to change the color of the bow. Moving on to the fourth series, Moon Knight. I decided to make the main character himself. I loved the series and all the characters in it. So to begin with, I got the lower piece from Ninjago Zing. I did change the color so it was a bit darker, but not too much. Then for the upper, I went with a piece with the Egyptian theme. This was for the sort of robe effect that Moon Knight had. Once that was done, I quickly changed the hand color to gray. After that, I looked for the head piece. I went with this creepy looking one. However, I mainly needed the eyes as orange or yellow or white. Once that was done, I looked for a head accessory. I ended up going with another Ninjago piece. This is supposed to be a green color, but I changed it to white. Now that the minifigure is done, I just added some weapons to finish of the detail. I couldn't adjust the position, so I left it as that. But now that's our fourth minifigure completed. For the Ms. Marvel series, I decided to make her first costume. So to begin with, I just got some red lower pieces. I then got the normal Captain Marvel upper piece. Once that was done, it changed the color of the hands and changed the color of the hips to blue. After that was done, I looked for the head. And after this piece, there was also no helmet piece, so I had to add a hair accessory. That was our final minifigure completed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe for part 2.